Welcome to Insiders English. I'm Vero, and today I'm going to talk to you about watching movies in English. Well, have you ever watched a movie in English? I'm sure you had one or two difficulties. I'd like to show you some tips that would make watching movies easier for you. First, you need to choose a movie that has a topic you're familiar with. Secondly, you need to choose a movie that has actors and actresses you can understand. Finally, today, I will show you how to use some of the tools offered on YouTube. As you can see, I have chosen the movie The Post. Now, how do we know what this movie is about? The best way I know of doing that is by looking on Wikipedia. This is because their article will be very factual. The beginning of the article will tell us the year it was released and then some of the people who were involved in making the movie. However, I'm interested in the topic. You can find that in the part that I've highlighted. This movie is about journalism. Specifically, it's about the famous American newspaper, The Washington Post. It has some information here telling me there are classified documents and the United States government in the Vietnam War. Well, that sounds fairly interesting. And it's a topic I think most people are familiar with. Now, number 2 is to choose a movie that has actors and actresses you can understand. When you're listening to the movie, you need to be able to understand their particular voices. Some actors and actresses have voices that are very difficult to understand. Let's see what Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks sound like. On YouTube, I have written in Meryl Streep in the search bar, and secondly, I have written interview. There will be many choices, and you can watch any one you like. I've also found an interview with Tom Hanks. And finally, what we can watch as well is the trailer, which most of you probably know is the advertisement for the movie. Now, let's think about using some of the tools offered on YouTube. What are these tools? Well, let's go back and we'll look at our interview with Meryl Streep. Now, the first tool I want to direct your attention to is this icon here at the bottom right hand part of the screen. This is the subtitles icon. Now, if you click on this icon, you will be able to see the text. And here it is. Meryl Streep is going to talk about women because the movie is about women in the 1970s. I'll turn this off so that I can show you the second icon that I feel is very useful. This one here, right next to the subtitles, is the settings icon. Now, this icon is very interesting. If you click on it, you'll see it has many titles. The third one here is called Speed. If you click, it will give you some options. The check mark tells you that the speed of Meryl Streep's voice is normal. However, I can make it slower by clicking on 0.75. I don't recommend clicking on 0.5. The voices begin to sound a little bit like robots. Let's listen, and you can compare the two speeds. First, we'll try with normal. Meryl Streep is going to talk about women in the 1970s. Listen now.
And how there just weren't very many women at all in any positions of power anywhere.
All right, and I will take us back to the beginning of that part and put it on to the slower speed, 0.75. Now you can compare. Listen.
How there just weren't very many women at all in any positions of power anywhere.
What did you think? A little bit easier, and it doesn't sound too unnatural. Let's listen now to Tom Hanks and see how he sounds at the different speeds. He is going to talk about some reasons why actors choose to become actors. First, we'll listen to the normal speed. Are you ready? Listen.
I think there's a number of reasons people go into this line of work that I'm in. Essentially trying to come up with stories that people will pay to see.
Okay, and I will put it back to where he started. Change the setting and slow down the speed to 0.75, and we can listen again. Are you ready? Listen.
I think there's a number of reasons people go into this line of work that I'm in. Essentially trying to come up with stories that people will pay to see.
All right, that is on a slower speed. I don't know about you, but I thought that Tom Hanks was much easier to understand on the slow speed. Now finally, we'll look at the trailer. I want you to be very careful when you look at trailers because there is a lot of interference which makes listening very difficult for students. There's a lot of music, and also if there are any guns or other explosions, they're going to be heightened, and the volume of that noise will be very high because it's a trailer trying to advertise how exciting the movie is. So for this one, we need to turn on the subtitles, and we certainly need to slow down the speed. As I said, this is the trailer, so it's going to be little snips of action. Listen now.
The White House has been lying about the Vietnam War for 30 years. The way they lied, those days have to be over.
And that is the trailer, something you might have to listen to 1 or 2 times. Well, that's all I have to say about watching movies in English. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video, and I also hope that you try some of the tools offered on YouTube. Try listening to something in English today. Bye for now, and see you next time.